Hello, this is part 1 of a 2 to 3 part mini-series focusing on my throwing knife. In part 1, I will be showcasing the throwing knife. Now, if you have noticed, I've been reading off a script, because I want to do this professionally. Now, the knife itself is made out of 16 gauge stainless steel, I believe. It may not look too thick, but this definitely has some weight to it. I haven't weighed it yet, which is something I should have done before I started the video. But oh well, I guess I'll put that in part 2 or in the description. Now, the knife itself has rounded over edges, as you can see here, and right now, at this point in time, it's done. It's completely done. Now, you may have some questions, like where are the grips, does it have a sheath, and stuff like that. Now, first of all, grips. Grips on a throwing knife aren't extremely popular because of the fact that they fall off. And now, frankly, I found out that this stainless steel is extremely hard. 1, because it's steel, and 2, probably because of the chromium in it, which also makes it shiny. Now, I found out, as I was trying to secure this for cutting, that it's really, really, really hard to drill through this. I mean, I drilled with a full battery in my drill for about 2 to 3 minutes without stopping, and I made a dent about, well, like that thin, or that deep, which is hardly anything. Now, and that's the only way I would secure my grips. I'd put a hole here and here, and then I'd make either wood or stainless steel grips or something like that, and secure them with bolts or screws or whatever. I'd come up with something. Now, if you are wondering, it is completely homemade. Everything, well, this is a one-piece knife, but the whole thing is homemade. I cut it out with a jigsaw with metal cutting blades, and by the way, I went through 5 blades cutting this out, and that took a long time. Now, I also had the help of my dad, which, you know, and that was really nice. So, another question you may have is it sharp? Now, I have been practicing and throwing it, and the tip is not as sharp as I would like it to be, so I need to work on it a bit. But especially down here, it is pretty sharp. Not razor sharp, but definitely sharp enough to cut you if you were just messing around with it. Now, for some questions from the script. The first one is, how do I make a throwing knife? Now, I just kind of went over that. You need to get some stainless steel, or, well, really, you should do some research first, but I went with stainless just because I first started out just probably like a lot of people, just throwing it into the grass. Now, it's winter, and I live in California, so, and I don't get snow, but it rains a lot, so my knife gets pretty wet, and it gets muddy and grass on it and all that stuff, and it's nice to have it just kind of be able to wash off so I don't have to work it off. Now, as far as making the throwing knife, I just followed the instructions of a website, and I'll put the link in the sidebar for it. So just make sure to go there before you do anything. Now, the second one is, what materials should I get? And I guess I'm gonna kind of continue what I covered in the last question. Now, I used stainless steel. You could probably make it out of just normal steel. I don't recommend aluminum because, if I remember correctly, it's not super hard. Now, you'd rather have a knife not as hard, or a throwing knife, because if it hit a nail or whatever, you know, you'd want to be able to reshape it, you know, bend it back into shape, not have it shatter or crack or whatever. But aluminum is also too light. I mean, this knife is pretty heavy, and that's a really good thing because it's just easier to throw. Now, the third question is, where did you get that shape? Now, the shape I did not make. It was made by a really nice guy on the website that's in the link, and you can print it out as a .gif